Hello, welcome to the Page Turner with Jasmine Simone, and I am Jasmine Simone, obviously. And yes, that's my real name. I didn't come up with it. I wish I could have come up with a catchy name, but I can't because my mom actually came up with a good name, so I'm just gonna keep Jasmine Simone. But what I'm actually gonna talk about is my January TBR books and possibly an honorable mention that I might try to fit in by the end of the month, because this year I'm solely dedicated to finishing some big name series that are out and that are still popular, on the market. So let's get started. The first books that I will mention that I have already started and I can't wait to finish are the Harry Potter books, because when I started on BookTube, when I started looking at other booktubers, a lot of them are major Harry Potter fans. So I was like, you know what? What's all the hype about Harry Potter, Sarah J. Maas, what's another good series? The Gone series. I have some booktubers who obviously are obsessed with the Cassandra Clare. Is that lady named Cassandra Clare? I think that lady named Cassandra Cass. I don't know, but y'all know what I'm talking about with the City of Bones and the Shadowhunters and stuff like that. I actually read that series when I was in school, and it wasn't bad at all. And I actually finished that series, but it's been 6 years since I actually finished that series. So I do need to pick it back up because she's coming out with a lot more books, and she's continuing on with the Shadowhunters Legacy, the Infernal Devices, and then the Clockwork. Infernal Devices is Clockwork. I mean, the Dark Artifices for her. So I was like, you know what? I knew I was into it a couple years ago, so I know I'll definitely be into it now. So I'm gonna dedicate my whole time, at least until June, because I know I can do it, to finish these big name series so I can be a part of the in crowd. Because I arrived late to the party, and this will be my first time reading Harry Potter, and this will be my first time coming into the Sarah J. Maas world. And I do owe an apology to my friend Taylor, because she's a big Sarah J. Maas fan, and she, for the past year to 2 years, and we've been friends for 3 going on 4, and she's been trying to get me to enter the Sarah J. Maas world. And I'm like, no, I'm not into it. Just by looking by the cover, that looks like it's too high fantasy for me or whatever. But my big thing in books pertaining to females, I love a female who is so headstrong and boy, get out my face. I can do this without you. I'm very independent. I love females like that, because I feel in my own fantasy world, I'm not some punk chick or something like that. I'm a badass female. Oh, I wonder if you can curse on YouTube. If I can't, I'm sorry. My bad. But yes. And so, besides finishing the Sorcerer's Stone, is it the Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone, something? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I finished the first book of Harry Potter. It was amazing. And then in my January wrap up, you will see my true feelings, and I screenshotted some of the pages off of my Kindle that I honestly, it just pulled at my heartstrings. And you'll know my true thoughts. But I'm totally going to say that I am into Harry Potter now. My husband calls me a nerd, but I don't care, because it's all about Harry Potter now. So, and then the first book for Sarah J. Maas that I decided to pick up was the Throne of Glass series. I was thinking about stopping this book and reading the Assassin's Blade, because I'm 175 pages in, and she does already talk about Sam by then. So I was curious to see how she got caught and stuff like that, and I know that comes out in the Assassin's Blade and how he dies and stuff. So I was maybe I should stop and read this book, but I think I'm going to read this book first and then go and get Assassin's Blade and then read it and then continue on with the rest of the series, because I know I'm going to finish the rest of the series, because there's so many things that I have so many questions about, and I'm just so interested on how her interaction with the other main characters in the book and what she's going through is going to develop, and like her magic as well. So that's one. I have The Lost Causes, and I've had this book for about like a month to 2 months. Sorry, my ankle's itching. But a month to 2 months. And I got this from Barnes and Nobles. Like, when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I need. And it's about the last people you'll ask to help with anything, much less a murder investigation. The rich girl, the obsessive, the hypochondriac, the addict, and the hot-tempered athlete. People think they're beyond help, lost causes, but where the world sees losers, the FBI sees its only hope. With the help of a dangerous serum, the FBI erases the teens' past problems and unlocks a psychic ability within each of them. In return, all they have to do is help find the killer who's turned their small town upside down. But as they close in on a suspect, they expose a conspiracy that puts them directly in harm's way and makes them wonder who, if anyone, they can really trust. If anything happens to them, will anyone else care? So, I think this is very interesting. And if you actually have read, what's the name of that? The Summoning series, I can't think of the author's name right now. This kind of made me think about that author, just because she has 2 different series that she has actually written, and I've read both series. One is about a girl who has the ability to see ghosts and stuff like that, along with other teens in a special home who have different abilities. They all don't have the same abilities. And then the other series that she wrote was about this girl. She has a like panther or a cougar birthmark on her on the side, and she finds out like all about what's that going to, and how like she has a connection with animals and stuff like that. And it was really good. So that's what I really thought about, because it has like a scientific feel to it and like a lab, and those are immediately the books that like jumped in my mind, because scientists are always trying to do something and mess something up. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this book a try. And I haven't really seen anybody on BookTube talk about this book, so we shall see how this book turns out for me. So that's number 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. And then my last one is Strange the Dreamer. When I started looking at people on BookTube, I was really captivated, I would say, about the world in this book, because so many booktubers are so interested in the interaction that the main character has and the way he thinks and his beliefs and how his personality is. So I was like, you know what, I'm really interested in it. And there are other booktubers who are like selling it like so good. So I was like, you know what, I definitely have to read this book. And I was very lucky, because obviously you see it's a hardback. So it's supposed to be $19 in the US, but I went to Books A Million, and this was in the clearance section, so I only actually got this book for $4.97, aka $5. So it was a really good purchase. So I'm very excited to see. And plus it's a hardcover, and I love hardcovers, because paperbacks, I feel some type of way about paperbacks, because I hate creasing on the spine. I hate creasings on the spine. My husband laughs at me, because I tell him, like, if I lend somebody a paperback book, the spine bet not come back creased. Like, I feel like I'm damaging and hurting the book, and it actually like makes me want to cry. My friend Shaq, we were in a training Center, the National Training Center. You guys might not know what that is, but if you are in the service and you're in the Army, you know that we go to California and train in a scenario situation for a month. And so I brought my Twilight books with me, and she borrowed my Twilight books. And she creased the spine of my Twilight and my New Moon book. But it was okay because there's a shop out in Colorado Springs where you they have like a mass book section. Well, book section that you can buy and you can sell and stuff like that. And a lot of people turned in their Twilight collection series and stuff like that. So I'm not mad, because if I just want to randomly start collecting like all the editions, first, second, third of Twilight, that's where I will go, besides on eBay. So yes, that's my last book. But I do have an honorable mention, because like this year I'm trying to dedicate myself to reading the well-known series on BookTube, and I want to start the Shadowhunter series. Cassandra Cass. Y'all, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm gonna just say Cassandra C. Anyway, so I read those books when I was like in high school, and it was like really good, because even though I love like highly independent like characters, or characters who end up like finding themselves and they get like a amazing personality. That's what I was looking for. An amazing personality. Like, I'll be so like transfixed like with their world, and like seeing other booktubers talk about like the whole writing work of Cassandra. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should like dive back in, even though I don't like being a part of like the in crowd when like a new book comes out and everybody like swarms to that book. Like, I usually won't do that, because I don't know, I'm just weird. Like, I don't want to be a part of like everybody else. Like, I want to wait. I want to like come at it on my own term. So that's why I'm just dedicating myself this year to finishing like a couple of series that everybody is talking about. Everybody's like transfixed, or some booktubers may talk about, but another booktuber may not like, but it sounds very amazing to me. So that's what I'm gonna dedicate myself with. But if I do have the time, my honorable mention that I will bring in is the City of Bones, so I can get a good like foot in the door, because I don't know how I'm really gonna go about it. Like, now I'm on the second book of the Harry Potter series, so when my special edition Twilight books come in, I don't know how I'm going to do that. Am I just going to dedicate my time to reading the full series next month, or am I just going to fit Twilight in to this TBR for this month and then do the other ones in February? So who knows? But I'll catch you next time. And if you have any book recommendations, please drop them down in the comments below, and or drop down your Goodreads, because I have a whole 2019 dedication shelf that these are the books that I'm going to read in 2019, slowly but surely. But my list isn't that long, so I might get done with them before June, but who knows, because sometimes I'm in a reading mood. Sometimes I'm in a really big reading mood to where like my husband can't even bother me because I'm dedicated to this book. Or I might not be in a reading mood. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and comment. And then let me know what your favorite books are that you're trying to read and finish by the end of January. Bye.